The world is your classroom. That's what we tell your students when they come to Bucknell and they start talking about including a global learning experience into their curriculum for their 4 years at Bucknell. So we're going to just a quick, brief overview of what we're doing this evening. I will share information on my colleagues, the current state of study abroad, what we consider the complete advising model, how we advise, eligibility, when your student can study abroad, the different types of programs, sources that we use to keep our fingers on the pulse of health, safety, and security. Financial information, again, the health, safety, and security is a big one, and then any questions you may have. Again, if any questions, please put them in the chat, and I will attempt to find them and answer your questions when we're done. So this is the Global Education Office team. We are made up of 7. There's 7 of us. We have the director, Dr. Stephen Appiapati, our associate director, Jennifer Fritz, Trace Coates, who is our assistant director, and in my world, he is my colleague who does all of the technology, and I greatly appreciate him. Lisa Reedy is our office assistant, and as our director, Dr. Appiapati, likes to say, she keeps the engine running and all of us moving in all the directions we need to be moving. Jose Figueroa is the operations manager. He handles all of the financial questions and paying of bills. And Hildegund Brady and I are global education advisors in the office. This is where you see who does what in our office. As I mentioned, Dr. Appiapati is a director. He also advises for Bucknell and Ghana. Jennifer Fritz, who is the associate director, she advises for all of the College of Engineering majors and mathematics, sciences, for all of the STEM majors, basically. And she is the program coordinator for the Bucknell in Athens program, semester-long program. Trace Coates, as I shared, he is the assistant director, and he advises for education and geography, as well as all of the summer Bucknell in short-term programs. And he is the technical operations guru in the office, as well as our health and safety. He has his fingers on the pulse of the health and safety around the world. Jose Figueroa, who handles the billing and the finances, he advises for students who are studying abroad in summer programs that are not the Bucknell in programs. I advise for all of the humanities and social sciences, including political science, economics, international relations, and math econ majors, as well as being the program coordinator for the Bucknell en France program and the Bucknell en España program. Hildegund Brady advises for the Freeman College of Management, as well as psychology, sociology, anthropology, and she and I split economics. She also advises is the program coordinator for Bucknell in London and the management of the Asia Pacific. And again, Lisa Reedy is our office assistant, our admin assistant, and she assists Dr. Appiapati with the Bucknell in Ghana program. So why study abroad? The state of study abroad, it's an important part of your students' curriculum and curriculum map while they're at Bucknell. It gives them an opportunity to gain some and navigate their time, time management, meeting new people, gaining some intercultural skills, flexibility, adaptnness, they become curious. And we've heard anecdotally that a lot of employers really ask about students about their study abroad experience. So it's a great way to access personal and professional opportunities for a semester, 2 semesters, a summer. We have many options for students. So you can get to our webpage, which is as up to date as I can be at any given moment, through the Bucknell website. And as you can see here, this really explains why we advocate for study abroad, that there truly is no substitute for experiencing and exploring new places, meeting new people, and learning what happens through a different lens. We at Bucknell, they learn as much as they can while they're on campus, but being able to get outside of the Bucknell bubble, pushing themselves a little bit, will give them an opportunity to have a global perspective on their major, on their academic focus, whether it's engineering, whether it's management, psychology, creative writing, history, whatever majors, minors your student decides on. And study abroad, the last point here is, it is not an academic vacation, it is an academic endeavor. And we stress that very, very strongly while we advise your student. So this is what I was talking about, our complete model of advising of study abroad. We spend a lot of time promoting study abroad, getting the students to understand how they can reach out to our office. It starts right when we get to Bucknell through their foundation seminar. We offer every professor who is teaching a foundation seminar to invite any one of us into a classroom so we can start prepping students on the options and the opportunities and how they can include a global learning experience while they are at Bucknell. We have messages on the message center. We hold multiple information sessions just like this throughout the fall and the spring. Their advisors are aware of the opportunities and know how to reach out to us. Every academic department has a liaison with global education, so we are always in communication with academic departments. We work with your student on a one-to-one basis. We can have multiple meetings, as we are not a one and done office. We spend a lot of time advising, making sure that the program that your student is going to study abroad on will be able to fulfill their curricular requirements. We work with their academic advisor. We have email strings, threads. We have, again, multiple meetings. We bring, if a student has a double major and let's say psychology and Spanish, Hildegunn Brady, my colleague, and I will work together with the student to make sure that they are able to find the courses for both psychology and Spanish. So we all advise with a very holistic viewpoint and focus on the student. We work very closely with the student through the application process, through all of the post-decision forms, through the visa process if a country needs one. We work very closely with all of our partners to make sure that our students are completing and submitting the required documents in a timely manner, and to make sure that they do have all of the information they need so that your student will have a successful experience abroad. While what we call in orbit, while your student is in orbit, we do keep in contact with them. We are always available to students to answer any questions. I always end my emails with, I'm only an email away. Don't hesitate to contact me. I can't promise that I'll get back within a 12-hour period, but I will get back to you the next day if you email me at 1 a.m. But we keep in contact with the students, especially about the traveler alerts and what's going on around the world. So your student is always aware of any sort of issue that is taking place, whether it is when we had to bring everybody back from COVID, when Iceland was having a volcano and students were stuck in different areas, I use that quotation marks, because their flights were canceled. So we always know where the students are, and we work very, very closely with our partners. They're always in contact with us. And then when their student returns, we have, excuse me, a couple of programs that we are voluntary, but we hope that your student will participate in to help unpack their experience, their global learning experience, to help them reflect on what they learned, to help them understand the goals that they laid out in their statement of purpose when they first decided to study abroad, and that they are following through with them. So we are full circle. And we take this very seriously, and we care about your student. So that's what we call the complete advising model. So some of the big questions when a student wants to make the world their classroom. We're going to answer these over the next couple of slides. Why should your students study abroad? When can your students study abroad? What types of programs are available? And how can your student access a study abroad global learning experience? So why study abroad? For academic exploration, this is an opportunity for your student to be able to take courses that are attached to their academic major or minors that are not necessarily offered here at Bucknell, but will enhance their learning experience. Studying abroad allows students to develop independence and general growth. It allows for cultural immersion and engagement with a culture outside of Bucknell and Lewisburg. It allows your student to start to understand themselves in a different perspective, as well as the world and how they are an actor in the world. And then the joy and the adventure of travel, of exploration, of adventures. We always hear that that's the best part of the study abroad experience. Again, we always stress it's an academic endeavor, not an academic vacation. So this is when your student can study abroad. They have to be on campus for both semesters of their first year, the fall and the spring. They have to be on campus the spring of their senior year. But then they have 3 summers during which they can study abroad after their first year, after their sophomore year, after their junior year. They can study abroad their sophomore year, fall and spring, junior year, fall and spring, senior year, fall. We've had students that have studied abroad spring of their sophomore year and then fall of their junior year, or fall of their junior year, fall of their senior year in different locations. So it really depends what your student wants to do, and we work very closely with them to make sure that it does work. Yes, we do have eligibility requirements because we want to make sure that your student will be able to succeed in a different environment and on their own. So students have to have a 3.0 GPA to be able to study abroad in the spring and a 2.8 in the fall. And you have to have completed at least 1 full semester on campus. And the student has to have a history of good conduct. Summer study abroad is always different. Yes, the student still has to have a history of good conduct, but GPAs vary depending on the program. That's when if your student will be studying abroad in a program that's not a Bucknell in summer program, they would be working with my colleague Jose Figueroa, and otherwise for the Bucknell in summer programs, specifically with the professor that is leading that program and my colleague Trace Coates. All of this information is shared on our webpage, and all information for summer Bucknell in summer study abroad programs is always being advertised on the through the message center at Bucknell. So what types of programs are available for your student? We have the Bucknell in semester-long programs that are facilitated by Bucknell professors and academic departments. We work with 9 major global education abroad partners and a couple of specialized partner programs, which allows us to have close to 500 opportunities available, 500 programs. We have short-term programs for the summer. Many of our program partners have internship opportunities attached to their programs, and that is for academic credit. And then there's always a service learning component to the majority of our global education abroad partner programs that students can get involved with. So these are currently the fall and spring programs, the Bucknell In programs. We are re-upping Bucknell en France that will be available in the fall and the spring, starting fall 2026. But London is a thematic program, runs both fall and spring semesters, and thematic depends on the professor that is leading it, from what academic department they're from. So this past semester, it was political science. We've had economics, we've had management professors. There's a neuroscience professor that will be leading the program in the spring. Bucknell in España is a true linguistic and cultural immersion program located in Granada, Spain. Students have to have taken at least Spanish 105 at Bucknell to be able to succeed in the program. A professor from the Spanish department accompanies the program and the students. Bucknell in Ghana is a spring-only program, and that is at for the University of Cape Coast. And Dr. Piapati is the director and leader, and he's going to be leading that program in the spring. The management in Asia Pacific actually and I didn't get a chance to change this, and I apologize, but I've made a note, will be running in both the fall and the spring. It is a academic and an internship-based program out of the College of Management, but all majors can attend. And Bucknell in Athens, when that is being reworked and rejuvenated, and that is a spring-only program. This is a listing of our program partners from Boston University, Temple, Augsburg, Trinity College, Advanced Studies in England, American, Arcadia, Syracuse. We work very, very closely with the representatives at all of these partners. And in the spring semester, we have a study abroad fair, and representatives from all of our partner programs are on campus to answer questions and to start the ball rolling, if you will, or getting the seed planted so it will grow. What we hope is that students, especially first years, get settled for their fall semester, for their first semester, and then they can start thinking about a study abroad experience and how they can include it in their curricular map. These are some of the programs that are actually in process now. The Bucknell In summer programs that are facilitated by professors. This changes every summer. So students will need to watch the Global Education webpage and the Message Center and see when professors start advertising programs for summer 2026. The short-term and summer programs are for academic credit. So it allows students to get a credit specifically for whether it's econ or whether it's education or psychology. The Camino program actually is an integrated perspective. So it's a Spanish professor and a professor from the religion department. So we have all different types of programs that are available in the Bucknell In summer programs. And then students can find whatever program they're interested in through any of our program partners. They also support summer programs, and the student would, your student would have to get the proper approval and approval, especially for the credit, for the academic credit, so that the credit can be transferred. So, which leads me to the academic information. So, all students who study abroad remain a fully registered Bucknell University student, which means they must enroll in the equivalent of a Bucknell full course load. At Bucknell, yes, students take 4 courses for 16 credits, 16 semester hours. The majority of our study abroad programs, the courses are worth 3 credits each or 3 semester hours. So students will be taking 5 courses. It's not an overload. It's the equivalent to a Bucknell full course load. We look for courses with the students. We go over their academic progress report to look for courses that will complement their academic major and minor, and that will help them fulfill some of their major and minor electives. Students do have to take the semester of the host language, despite the fact that they may have already fulfilled the foreign language credit on campus, but it is part of the immersive experience. Our partners require that students do that. So if your student is going to Denmark, they have to take a semester of Danish. If they're going to Prague, they have to take a semester of Czech. It's just to make sure they get on the right bus, that they know, they just have a little bit of an inkling of what they're doing and where they're going. Students have to get a grade of D or better in every course. We do not accept any pass-fail courses. So, and the grade then is not factored into their GPA because the courses are not being taught by Bucknell professors. But the courses that they do take abroad count towards the 32 credits they need for graduation. This is all on our webpage. And we go over this ad infinitum with the students when they are going through the promotion and the support and the takeoff part of the complete advising model. So we have lots of student resources that are still available to students: accessibility resources, the health center, counseling, and student services. So these are always available to students while they were abroad. We continue to talk to students about this and provide them with lots of information on how they can keep in touch with these different resources on campus while they are abroad and what they need to do. This is something, again, that our office takes great pride in, I have to say, in making sure that students are aware of these and that we help the students facilitate whatever they need to make sure that they have a truly safe and successful experience abroad. Okay, I talked about the academics. That's the one pillar and the support that goes with that. Now, the next big one is the financial information. Just like for academics, Bucknellians who study abroad remain fully registered Bucknell University students. We follow what is called the homeschool tuition model. Your student will be billed for Bucknell tuition only, and Bucknell will pay the program partner the tuition fee. All financial aid, scholarships, grants follow your student. When a student informs us that they do receive some sort of financial aid, it is then their responsibility to talk to Bucknell's financial aid office to understand how their package works. We don't get any of that information. The student or you will then be billed by the program for all non-tuition fees. So that could be the application fee, a deposit fee, accommodations, if there's a meal plan, supplemental medical and health insurance, transportation, if a visa is required. Obviously, if students are studying abroad, a passport is required. And then any personal travel and phones. All of our program partners have financial aid and scholarship opportunities that students can apply to after they've talked to our financial aid office to understand their package. Regarding the housing, all Bucknell students are required to live under the accommodations provided by the program partner. No independent housing is allowed, especially in light of the geopolitical landscape. So again, as I said, all scholarships, grants, and loans follow students except for federal work study. Our programs have all sorts of opportunities for your student to apply for financial aid and scholarships. And then our Office of Financial Aid can help the student and you understand your package. And health, safety, and security. As I said, my colleague Trace Coates has his finger on the pulse all the time about what's going on around the world. Not only does he, but we also follow Department of State and the CDC travel advisory sites. We all get these updates. He works very closely with all of our global education abroad partners as to what their policies and protocols are and what's taking place at any given time. He's on all sorts of foreign government travel advice boards from Australia to the United Kingdom, the EU, etc. The Overseas Security Advisory Council, we all tap into that. And then some private security firms, he follows those. If there is anything that is going to affect our students, they will get an email from Trace, and then each of us as global education advisors follow up with that same email to our advisees so that they're getting it twice, if not 3 times. We go through a lot of pre-departure training with the students, so they are aware, not only from Bucknell's standpoint, but also their mandatory pre-departure training and orientations that students have to go through with their specific partner program. Global medical insurance is provided for students on Bucknell In programs. All of our partner programs have available global supplemental accident and medical insurance, and you can always purchase Bucknell's insurance if need be. Students must enroll in the Department of State Smart Traveler Enrollment Program. It is their responsibility. We used to be able to do it, but that has since changed. So every student gets emails about that and how to do that. And then through global education, through our office, we have students must get the Alert Traveler app on their phone and register for that before they leave the States for their semester of study abroad or 2, or even the summer. And this allows Trace to push real-time health and safety alerts to be pushed to the students, and allows our office, Trace is the first line, and then the global education advisors to communicate directly with the students, as well as the program partner is always communicating with the students. So this is Global Ed in a nutshell for the moment. As you know, things can change at the drop of a hat. So you can always click on this, our QR code that will take you to the Global Education webpage. We will be having an event on Family Weekend, which is Saturday, September 20th, I think the date is. I believe it's at 10:30. And I think we're holding an information session, something much like this, but all of the global education advisors will be there. So you can meet and greet us and ask questions. We hope your student comes along also. So this gives you a great opportunity to get to know us and see what is available for your students. I hope that I've shared information. If there's anything, I will try and find the chat. Oh, that's okay. That's the director. Somehow, I don't know how he's doing that. And just know that this has been recorded, so you can always listen to this again. But let your students get settled for their first semester. We hope to see you on Family Weekend on September 20th with lots of questions and an excited student who is looking to include a semester, 2 semesters, or summer global learning experience. If you don't have anything, I'll let you go. I know it's hot and I know everybody has things to do, and it's dinner time for some. So again, if you don't have anything, you can either unmute yourself or just drop it in the chat function. Otherwise, I will say goodbye. Have a great summer. And Ray Bucknell, welcome to Bucknell, and we look forward to working with your student.